Welcome to another episode of Historical Facts, Disturbing or Delightful. Buckle up and get ready to decide for yourself if these facts are disturbing or delightful.
Welcome to episode 28 of Historical Facts, Disturbing or Delightful. You decide. In this episode, we will be learning about the Bohemian Grove. We will be discussing what the Bohemian Grove is, where it is located, their motto, a bit about the history, as well as the security and previous break-ins. We will also learn about the behaviors that go on at the camp, ceremonies, possible satanic rituals, women in the club, membership, as well as past and previous notable members. Let's get started. What is the Bohemian Grove? Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700-acre campground. It belongs to a private gentleman's club. In July of each year, the Grove hosts a 2-week encampment with some of the most prominent men in the world. While it may seem incredibly far-fetched to say that there's a secret club full of ultra-powerful men who meet at a very exclusive camp deep within the forest of California to bond over rites and rituals to which only a select few are invited, well, it's true. They are known as the Bohemian Club, and they were built on the shoulders of a private gentleman's club in 1872. They purchased the land where Bohemian Grove now stands in 1899, and every year the most powerful men of the world head out there for their annual retreat. Where is it located? Currently located in Muir Woods in Monterey, California. In 1878, they gathered within the redwoods near Taylorville, and they also camped together at various locations in both Marin and Sonoma County. They also had a redwood grove that once stood near Duncan Mills, several miles down the river from the current location. From 1893, Bohemians rented the current location, and in 1899, they purchased it from Melvin Cyrus Meeker, who had developed a successful logging operation in the area. The club motto. The club's motto is, "Weaving spiders come not here," which implies that outside concerns and business deals are to be left outside. A bit about the history. The tradition of a summer encampment was established 6 years after the Bohemian Club was formed in 1872. Henry Edwards, a stage actor and founding member, announced that he was relocating to New York City to further his career. On June 29, 1878, somewhat fewer than 100 Bohemians gathered in the Redwoods for an evening send-off party in Edwards' honor. Free-flowing liquor and some Japanese lanterns put a glow on the festivities, and club members retired at a late hour to the modest comfort of blankets laid on a dense mat of redwood needles. This festive gathering was repeated the next year without Edwards and became the club's yearly encampment. The Grove is particularly famous for a Manhattan Project planning meeting that took place there in September 1942, which subsequently led to the atomic bomb. Security. In 2019, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors informed the club that it would be the last year they provided law enforcement security. The Bohemian Grove is protected by a sophisticated security team year-round. The Bohemian Club employs ex-military personnel to help secure the area. They use high-end security equipment, including thermal and night vision cameras, motion detectors, and vibration sensing alarm systems. The level of security is particularly heightened during time periods when members are on site. During these times, the local sheriff's office in California and if warranted by the guest list, the United States Secret Service, help secure the area and roads surrounding the encampment. Break-ins. Despite the high level of security present, there have been numerous high-profile successful infiltrations of the Bohemian Grove. In the summer of 1980, Rick Clogger gained entrance to the Grove with the help of an employee and posed as a worker during 2 weekends of the annual encampment. In the summer of 1989, Spy magazine writer Philip Weiss spent more than 7 days in the camp posing as a guest. On July 15, 2000, Alex Jones and his cameraman Mike Hansen entered Bohemian Grove and shot footage of the Cremation of Care ceremony. On January 19, 2002, Richard McCaslin was arrested after his nighttime infiltration of the Grove, where he set several fires. He was heavily armed and wearing a skull mask and outfit. Club behavior at Bohemian Grove has certainly raised eyebrows over the years. Those who have managed to sneak into the camp reported witnessing strange behaviors and ceremonies. The peculiar activities have led to numerous claims and even some parody in popular culture. One striking example was President Richard Nixon's comments in a tape recording talking about upper-class San Franciscans at the Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, and it is the most faggy goddamn thing you could ever imagine. It is hard to say what the exact behaviors that go on in the camp are unless you are a member. Every annual meeting in Bohemian Grove since 1880 has kicked off with a ceremony called the Cremation of Care. It's easy to see how it could be mistaken for some sort of occult ritual. According to the Bohemian Grove and other retreats, the ceremony starts with a parade of men dressed in red, hooded robes, some carrying torches and some carrying a wooden box. Within the wooden boxes is a wooden skeleton named Care. The procession winds through the camp until they make their way to the side of the lake, watched over by a massive cement owl. As the spectators gather, the men playing the priests extinguish the torches. They sing songs and invoke a remembrance of friends lost, and they put the corpse of Care on the ferry of Care. Care makes it to the altar, then makes an appearance as a force that threatens to intrude on the mirth and merriment of the camp. But the owl lends a helping hand, and the funeral pyre is lit. The Cremation of Care ritual is considered a magical ritual with what looks like robbed figures. There's also a wagon carrying a wrapped figure, and while it is supposed to be the effigy of a child, it appears to be a heap of blankets that smelled of fuel. Since the Cremation of Care event includes a mock child sacrifice to a stone owl that is believed to represent Moloch, it is easy to understand why there are theories surrounding perhaps satanic rituals that are going on within the camp. The invocation to the spirits of the dead and the spirits of the wood are given to an officiating priest in a robe. The priest then praises the large stone owl known as the Owl of Bohemia and offers the child called Dullcare to a horned god. So why a child and an owl? In ancient times, anxieties were released by sacrificing a child to the horned god Moloch. It was a sacrament to the gods for a guarantee of prosperity, health, and safety. It is believed that the children were killed to provide safety from evil entities and to ensure that the son would return. As for the owl was known as a harbinger of bad tidings and doomed throughout Europe, and put in appearance as a symbol of death and destruction. For instance, Sir Walter Scott once wrote, "Birds of Amen dark and foul, night crow, raven, bat, and owl, leave the sick man to his dream. All night long he heard your scream. Even before Scott, William Shakespeare wrote of the owl's premonition of death in both Macbeth and Julius Caesar. In ancient Greek mythology, the owl was the preferred bird of Athena, daughter of Zeus, the goddess of wisdom and war. Her preferred species was the little owl. If you open the Bible to Isaiah chapter 57, verse 5, you read about the ancients placing idols of worship under a tree. The sacrifices done at the Bohemian Grove so happened to be done under evergreen trees. With the owl, the sacrifice, the trees, it all just seems a little coincidental to not be slightly occult-like. Women in the club. Although no women have ever been given full membership in the Bohemian Club, there are 4 female honorary members: hostess Margaret Bowman, poet Ina Coolbrith, actress Elizabeth Crocker Bowers, and writer Sarah Jane Lippincott. These honorary members and other female guests have been allowed into the Bohemian City Club building as daytime guests of the Grove, but not to the upper floors of the City Club, nor as guests in the main summer encampment at the Grove. In 2019, Sonoma County Board of Supervisors member Linda Hopkins, who is elected to the district encompassing the Grove, wrote an open letter criticizing the role Bohemian Club had in making it difficult for women to get into politics and their lack of investment in the community despite members' personal wealth. Memberships. The Bohemian Club is a private club, and only active members and their guests may visit. Guests have been known to include politicians and notable figures from other countries. Particularly during the midsummer encampment, the number of guests is strictly limited due to the small size of the facilities. The Bohemian Club's all-male membership includes artists and musicians, as well as many prominent business leaders, government officials, former US presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. Members may invite guests to the Grove for either the Spring Jinx or the main July encampment. Bohemian Club members can schedule private day use events at the Grove anytime it is not being used for club-wide purposes, and they are allowed at these times to bring spouses, family, and friends, although female and minor guests must be off the property by 9 or 10 p.m. After 40 years of membership, the men earn Old Guard status, giving them reserved seating at the Grove's daily talks, as well as other perks. Past and previous. Notable members. Bohemian Club members include both past and current members of note. Regular, full members are usually wealthy and influential men who pay full membership fees and dues, and who must often wait 15 years for an opening, as the club limits itself to about 2,700 men. Associate members are graphic and musical artists and actors who pay lesser fees because of their usefulness in assisting with club activities. Honorary members are elected by the club members and pay no membership fees or annual dues. Several honorary members never availed themselves of the club's offer. For instance, there is no record of Mark Twain visiting the club, and Boston resident Oliver Wendell Holmes never visited, but he responded immediately with a poem when notified by telegram of the honor, despite being awakened at midnight. Well, that's it, an overview of the Bohemian Grove. The end of this video will contain a list of past and previous notable members. Thank you so much for watching episode 28 of Historical Facts. Disturbing or delightful, you decide. Stay tuned for episode 29, where we learn about the symbols and history of American money.
You've been watching Historical Facts, disturbing or delightful. To support and watch more of these kinds of videos, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel.